very good evening to you, and welcome to another edition of Offside Maidens, the cricket show with an all-woman panel. We are talking Proteas, men and women. Both teams have been in action, and it has indeed been an exciting week for our national teams. Both are up against Pakistan. And before I introduce the panel, let me just remind you to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to stay updated on all the incredible content on offer on Cricket Fanatics magazine. And of course, the views and comments are our own and not that of Cricket Fanatics mag. And if you are a fan of the ultimate fan publication, you can now become a Patreon. Follow the links in the descriptions and bios on the various social media pages. And in the comment section right now, the live chat is a go. So let me introduce you to these lovely ladies that you see in front of you. We have Emily. She's been doing the most for women's cricket with a pen, so to speak. She's passionate about the game and has some great insights, which we will be hearing about throughout the show. And then the twins, who are fans of the game. They hold a level 1 umpiring certificate and they have amazing foresight. They predict all sorts of future events with regards to this game and other games, apparently. Then we have Lucy from the UK. Although not South African, she loves SA cricket and cricket in general. She is studying sports journalism and loves to talk quotas. And then we have Leisha, our resident cricket player. She is amazing, always on the juice. Cricket is her life. And when she's not playing, coaching, umpiring, or training, she's drinking juice. I'm just joking about the juicing, and I don't mean testosterone or steroids. She doesn't do that kind of juicing. I'm talking about actual juice, like cranberry juice. I think right now she's drinking water. Not too sure. Oh, here we go. Water. You didn't see my fingers when I said that earlier. So let's jump into it, shall we? Good evening, everyone. You guys all look lovely. Have you had a fantastic week? Let's start in the UK, What time is it there? I'm not sure that you know what time it is.
So it's currently 4 minutes past 5, and it's very cold.
Very cold. And have you been watching the cricket this week?
Yeah, so my lectures started back this week, but yeah, I've been watching bits of them.
Okay. And Emily, how are you doing?
I think I'm a bit less cold than Lucy. I'm doing well, thanks. Week has been a little blurry, but it's been good.
Yeah, a lot been happening. And Leisha, how's the training going?
It's good. I didn't go today, so I had to miss today due to personal reasons, but it's been good otherwise.
And are you on the juice right now? Are you ever going to reveal what juice you're drinking?
It's water. Water today.
Okay,
it's
the water.
Today.
I was right. And twins, I see you guys have different hairstyles today. Is this so that we can distinguish between who you are?
I guess so. I mean,
probably
just trying to help people out, I suppose. It's always the same.
So it was unplanned.
Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
very much always unplanned. Yeah.
It's been an exciting week for you, has it not? So, of course, if we're jumping into it now, the women Proteas completed a series whitewash this week. They bowled out Pakistan for 169 to seal a 32-run win in this third and final ODI. And it's been amazing. And also, before we jump into it, really, there's been a couple of milestones. And I really wanted, Emily, I was wondering if you could just take us through the list of milestones, or at least some of them, that happened in this series and particularly in this match.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm just going to start with Sine because it's the first one that came to my mind. So, yeah, of course, 100 ODI wickets for Sine Lut. Obviously, taking 3 wickets in the last game, she brought up that milestone. And then on the Black Day, it was Shipnam's 100th ODI. So that was a pretty special moment for her. She obviously didn't perform as well as she wanted to do in that game, but she came back very well in the last game. So yeah, those are 2 special milestones.
Yeah, indeed. And you talk about the black ODI, and I remember Shabnam Ismail being very frustrated. Do you think she didn't perform well, or do you think that the fielding let her down? I mean, I thought that the fielding, or maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but the fielding in the first game was terrible, but in the second game it was even worse. I don't know if you want to answer that, Emily. No pressure.
I don't know if it was perhaps like a mixture of both of those things, because I do think that Shabnam bowled better in the last game, and I think maybe she bowled a few too many short balls, so her line was a bit wrong, her length was a bit wrong in that second game. But like I said, she's a world class bowler. She came back in the last game, so it could be a bit of both, because like you mentioned, the fielding was really bad in both those games, but I definitely think they redeemed themselves a bit in the last game. Fielding was a lot better in the last game, so that's a positive for them to take into the T20 series.
It really is, because, I mean, since this last game in this series against Pakistan in Durban, here on home soil, the Proteas Marizan Cup and Shabnam Ismail, they now lie third and fourth place respectively in the ODI bowling ranking. So that's fantastic. And then, of course, Laura Wolfhard climbed up 2 places to a career best of 7th place in the latest ICC Women's ODI batting rankings. So yes, plenty of milestones, but it also looks like individuals are improving as well as the team altogether. Very exciting stuff to see that.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick comment on Laura.
Yes.
She proved that, okay, she went out in those 2 unfortunate run-outs in the first 2 games, but coming in last game and getting that 50, she's a phenomenal batsman. Again, the shots that she played, remarkable shots. Sitting there and watching, just thinking how young she still is. And thinking how many years she's been in the team for, but she's still only like 21. So
yes.
Yeah, definitely a bright future ahead. In my opinion, there's perhaps a captaincy space for her in the future. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. But definitely, yeah, one of the best batters in the side. So yeah.
It's okay. You say batsman, and on the sites they still call them batsmen and man of the match. So twins, you've been watching this series, and how has it been for you as fans? The highs and the lows, watching wickets fall. I mean, at one point the women looked like they were fantastic. I mean, only 1 wicket down, and then bam, wickets were falling one after the other. And of course, you had to switch between watching the men and the women simultaneously. How was that for your nerves as a cricket fan, and wanting to follow the women's game and also wanting to watch the men in action?
It was literally like juggling, I don't know, between two games, but I think the women actually did really well. Yeah, I know the first game wasn't too great. Like, yes, they had a lot of niggles there on the fielding and those things, and it almost looked as if Pakistan was going to win at some stage, because it looked as if we started off really well, and then it's like, oh my word, Pakistan is going to take this from us, and then at the end, then it's kind of like we I don't know, woke up and like, oh, and then, yeah, I don't know, I think it was Marizan Cup. She still said in one, yeah, I don't know if it was the something, but she said it seemed as if they were falling asleep in the middle of the game. So I hope that doesn't happen too often, but maybe it's just like, the effects of lockdown. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was good to see them.
Yeah, I think they what they lacked a bit in the fielding, or what we lacked a bit in the fielding, I think we made up in the batting. Like, I mean, you can think of the big numbers that they did bat, and not just in day 1, but I mean in day 2 and day 3 as well.
Yeah.
I think day 2 was tough, obviously 68 not out. So I think, yeah, okay, our fielding was a little bit frowned upon and dubious at times, but I think the batting, it kind of redeemed us some way along the series. Yeah.
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 And then also I wanted to ask you, because watching women's cricket has kind of grown in popularity within this series. Do you feel that's true? Do you feel that more of your friends or people you talk to or people on social media have been watching this game? Maybe it's because there's not a lot going on during lockdown. Do you think that's the reason? Or do you think, it's just because they're playing exciting cricket?
I mean, I'd supposedly say personally for us, I'd say like definitely for us, this is like, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like we've never watched women playing cricket, on so many occasions. So I think for us, firstly, it was definitely something that
A
we would
wow
look,
moment.
yeah, we'd look more forward to seeing regularly of. And I think for people in general, I think our dad was also in the clouds the other day when he was talking about something. But in any case, but of women cricket, and we just had this conversation, and it was just like, wow, like if this is not the conversation we should be having, then I don't know what is. But it's just good that we can open up these kind of dialogues with people who maybe think that cricket is a men's sport. I think we were talking the other day also. If you think of tennis, for example, if I'm just going to deviate a little, tennis is a mixed sport. You see men playing, you see women playing. So it's not a problem, but when you just suddenly see women on the field trying to do what men do, so it's kind of like, okay, but like, y'all really have to perform, you really have to prove yourself. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to prove themselves also to everybody else who are not maybe fans of women cricket. I think. Yeah.
And you're right. What's really amazing is that Pakistan even have a women's cricket team because very conservative nation. So it's fantastic to see that nations like Pakistan, they celebrate their women, they have a women's cricket team, and they've sent them here to lose. So Lisha, tell me, how are you feeling about about the series?
Wow, that's hard.
And
Hold on.
and all the are you okay with the network now? Because I know that you've been in and out. Can you actually hear me?
Yeah, I can. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, that's
Um,
fantastic. How do you feel about this women's series? I mean, it's been up and down. It's there's been lots of highs and lows, and like the twins just said, more people are watching women's cricket. It's become very exciting, maybe because it's being televised and we're having the opportunity to actually watch it.
yeah, definitely. I think the televised games is a big positive in women's cricket. As for the series, I'd say hashtag reserve happiness because although although we won the series, the player with the most runs is a Pakistani, and the player with the most wickets is also a Pakistani. So there's a lot for us to go back to and work on. So reserve happiness. Happy for the win, but still, we made a lot of mistakes, rookie mistakes, and I think we really have to go back to the basics, especially with our fielding.
So, what do you think they can do to actually rectify their fielding? I mean, we've been talking about their fielding since the first game. In the first game, we spoke about how it may just be rustiness. In the second game, it was a little shocking, and then obviously things seem to come together in that third game, at least a
I think
little bit.
the third game, I think they, like I said, went back to basics. It's all about getting your body behind the ball, picking up the ball cleanly and watching the ball until it's in your hands. We saw a few drop catches, butterfingers and stuff.
They definitely oiled their hands, before the game. It must be a new moisturizer that everybody's using.
Sanitizer.
Sanitizer.
Yeah, but definitely we have to go back to the basics. I think a lot of us, like even for myself, we do underestimate the basics. If you watch me, you'll never see me dive in the field. You'll always see me using fancy footwork because of my soccer playing days. I'll never ever
Okay.
dive down. But
Okay.
What about
but
the
like
long barrier there? Long barrier, not a thing anymore.
but now I don't do long barrier. I pick up one hand guy.
Wow, okay. She's a one-hand wonder. So, Lucy, how much of the game were you able to watch actually? Because I know there's a time difference, and obviously you're very busy there in the UK. I know you have lockdown. Actually, no, you shouldn't be too busy. All of your things are closed.
Yeah, so I watched the majority of the Black Day, and it came down to like the wire really. And then I've been like zoning in and out really of the men's game and the women's game this week then.
And were there any surprises for you when you were watching the women, Pakistan and South Africa?
Just their fielding, really. I know they've touched on it, but yeah, they're all very just still in the field, and like simple things like long barrier, walking in, butterfingers are mentioned. When I play, I'm like a seal in the field, literally diving everywhere, but didn't see any of that really.
Look, I don't want to be too critical because I ain't diving, I ain't catching any balls. For me and ball sports, I only talk about it. I don't play. Also, I just want to a quick caveat, a quick diversion. All of you were pretty quiet after a certain game that happened last night. I just want to make mention of that. I got no ruthless memes like I do after Liverpool's games. I just thought I'd mention that. I just noticed all the Man United fans weren't really saying much. So
this is a cricket podcast, eh?
Look.
Remind you.
Stay in the lane, Tara.
Listen, guys. Look, I know that everybody here is such huge fans of Man United, but no. Let's move on. You're right, to the cricket. Let's move on. So, Emily, 201. When we scored 201 in the last ODI, did you think it was enough? Because for me, I thought I thought maybe this won't be enough. Did you think it was enough? Especially since at one point we were 119 for 1 after 26 overs. So it seemed like, okay, we were going to put up a big total, and then all of a sudden the wickets fall like flies.
Yeah. So to answer your question, no, I didn't think it was enough. I thought we were about 20, 30 runs under par, especially the way Lazali and Laura started. They both, shame, Lazali 49, short of 50 for the second time in the series is a shame. Yeah, hopefully she'll get those runs in the T20s. But the way they started, I definitely thought we were on for 250 minimum. So yeah, I thought we were a bit under par, and I was a bit worried because we didn't have Nadine de Klerk or Maizan Kap, and we know they're power hitters in the last 5-7 overs. So I was wondering who was going to fulfill that role for us. And we also didn't have Marizan, obviously, in the bowling department. So yeah, I was a bit nervous at the halfway mark, especially because the last game, I think Pakistan, they got to how much did they score? They scored like 240 or 230 something. So I was like, we definitely under par here. But the way Shabnim Ismail started was phenomenal. There's 2 quick wickets up front, which has been the trend for the Pakistan women so far. They've lost 2 quick wickets up front. So the way we started in our bowling was a good way to in pursuit of defending that low score. But yeah, I definitely think we were a bit under par. But our bowlers managed to do the job really well in the end, getting crucial wickets at crucial times. And yeah, the fielding, like I said, improved. Lara Goodall took an amazing catch, flying. But yeah, so our bowlers pulled through in the end, and the fielding helped us with that.
Yes, you were. I think you were a little critical of Sune in the previous matches. Were you not? But look, she took 3 wickets, and with the help of Shabnam there up front, the Pakistani ladies were reduced to 84 for 5. So at some point that's where they were sitting, and it looked like we were in a really good position. So how do you feel about her performance in this match and compared to the final matches? Do you think that she was just getting into the swing of things?
Is this Sune? You're talking about Sune?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did mention that she said she was a lot happier with her personal performance in the last game. So yeah, maybe she was just still trying to get into her rhythm. She didn't look like she was quite in her rhythm in the first two games. She looked a bit as if she was still trying to get her rhythm back. But I think she bowled better in the third game. And I mean she didn't contribute with the bat really, but she contributed with the ball. So yeah, she was definitely a lot more happier with her final performance in that game, that last game of the series. And yeah, she did bowl better than she did in the first two.
And now I actually want to talk about something quite exciting that also happened in this women's series. Is our first guest, Lauren Achenbach. She was heavily involved, and Cricket South Africa actually released this lovely press release saying that the match officials, Lauren Achenbach and Chandra Fritz, they have been praised for their efforts following the series. The pair made their debuts during the series, both taking part in all three games, and especially umpire Achenbach. Remember, she's only 24 years old. She's leading the pack, they said, amongst the best female umpires in the country, with the latest accolade adding to her glowing CV. That saw her become the first female umpire from South Africa to stand in an international T20 series. So that's some high praise and very exciting to see that one of our guests, has been doing so well. That could be you, Emily, twins, Leisha.
Not likely.
This not the go? Is this not the go? also, now that we are talking about umpiring, Leisha, when are you hooking me up with a level 1 certificate?
I can give you mine. I'm not
No, I
gonna
don't want you to give me yours. That's
But I did
corruption.
though. I did though. We'll pick my name out and just
No, man, you can't say that on air. You're supposed to come up with a proper plan. I just want everybody to know that we're not going to be cheating and nobody's going to be tapexing anybody's name off anywhere. Right, Leisha?
She's just saying
She's
it.
supposed to organize me something else. Let me write the
I'm,
test. Do it the
I'm,
right
organ-
way.
I'm organizing you something else in different department, but also match official. Emily is the umpire. I'm the scorer. Remember?
Oh, do we all have different roles? Oh, I had no idea. I thought that I was also, involved in the umpiring aspect.
If Leisha doesn't want to hook you up, I'll hook you up, Tar.
Thank you, Emily. Look, at least somebody is hooking me up. And just a quick thing. So we had the first Black Day, the first Black ODI, to raise awareness in the fight against gender-based violence. Obviously, had it been not COVID, what would have happened was everybody would have been encouraged to wear black, no matter how hot it is, to wear black to the match like they do on Pink Day. Do you girls think that it was advertised well enough, this Black Day? I mean, we spoke about the Black Day. We mentioned the Black Day to each other. But I feel like I didn't see much of it anywhere else. Fans were encouraged to wear black at home and then, post selfies. But I also didn't see much of that. Do you think enough was done with regards? Twins, you look like you have an answer there. Do you think enough was done to create awareness around this Black ODI?
Well, I wouldn't say yes because I had no idea was it a campaign or like a hashtag thing? Oh, well, I had no idea. No, so maybe there are fans out there who did know and are like open with these things, but no, I don't think it was adequately. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was adequately advertised or like put out
Well,
there.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, you are avid watchers of the game, and you didn't know about it. And the point of these campaigns is to actually create awareness for those that aren't super fans or aren't journalists or broadcasters or us talking about it on a podcast. It's for others, for the greater majority of our country. I'm not sure how any of Leisha. Do you feel like it was advertised well enough?
No. No. To be blunt, no. Only because I also I saw it, I think on Emily's Instagram story or something, but someone's Instagram story, but like on my news feeds, all my cricket fan friends, they didn't know about it, so they weren't wearing black. So I think we could have done a bit better with advertising the women standing against, gender-based violence, because it's like something that's hits home. So I feel like we should have done a tad bit better with advertising, maybe using all social media platforms and retweeting and reposting a bit more.
I
Yeah,
agree. This must have frustrated you, Emily, because you were the one
Yeah.
sharing it. I saw you sharing it quite often.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far in advance they had planned this Black Day, but I think it was about 3 days before the series started, or no, it was or 4 days. I just saw the fixtures. I think it was on Phase Status or something. I saw the fixtures, and one of them, like the shading of one of them was black.
Was in
I'm
black.
like,
Yeah,
why
I
are
also
they
had no
all
idea
green
why
and
it
I
was
the
thought it
one,
was
black.
the one
typo.
is black? So I was like, what's happening here? And then I think it was the next day or like the day after that, like Cricket South Africa posted the gender-based violence, like the Black Day on their Instagram, and that's when I found out. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd been planning it for like a while. So I think
Yes, they
maybe
have been.
the advertising should have been, 3 weeks or maybe a month before Black Day happened, in order to like get it out there a lot more and for more people to become aware of it, and why they were doing it and all those things. So yeah, I think maybe more planning or more careful planning had to be done. I just hope that in the future, it will be a really big thing and there will be a lot of publicity around it and stuff, because it deserves to be spoken about a lot more, and for more people to know what's going on.
True. And if Cricket South Africa want to do awareness campaigns, they should perhaps actually create awareness around it. So Pakistan and South Africa are back in action in the T20s tomorrow, starting at 3:30 in the afternoon. The Pakistani squad has been announced. I did take a little bit of a look at that squad for the T20s. I haven't seen ours, really. I know that head coach Hilton Moring, he said that he wants to, add a little bit of youngsters in there and see who can do what and what's happening because, there's a World Cup coming up and he wants to try and test out the youngsters. And I have no idea how many tours we'll have or how many opportunities we'll have to test the youngsters, but maybe we'll see a few new young faces. I mean, like you were saying, Emily, earlier, that in the final ODI, some of the senior players were absent. But we performed really amazingly, probably the best. We won by the biggest margin, 32 runs. It wasn't as close as the previous games. So for Pakistan, so I know that Diana Baig, she was really good during their ODI series, especially in this final match. I think she had figures of 4 for 30, and she's been included in the squad. Also, some of their top performers essentially have been included in their T20 squad. Well, what do you think will be different with regards to the T20s? How do you think we'll fare against them in the T20s, Emily?
Yeah, like you said, I hope they make some changes. But obviously T20s, Sine was saying that it's obviously it's a faster paced game. You really got to be on your game with in the field, in all three departments actually. So I think they are prepared, or as prepared as they can be. They've played, a lot of them have played in the BBL, a lot of them have played in the female IPL, or the competition there in India, and then of course the WSL. So I think they know the format, T20 format, quite well. So I think they'll be pretty confident, although the way the last few games went, I'm sure they'll just be trying to do their best in all three departments. But I wanted to ask you, is Alia Riaz, she is in that T20 squad for Pakistan?
Let me just double check there.
Because she impressed me a lot.
Yes, she is. She has been included.
Yeah. And I actually saw this little did you know thing on the Pakistan Instagram that says Alerias averages 71.50 against South African T20 internationals, which is the third best amongst the batters to have scored more than 100 runs against them, and the best for Pakistan. So, yeah, Alerias is, she's quite dangerous.
Somebody to look out for.
Yeah, I really was impressed with the way she batted. And then I was also from South Africa. I was impressed with Annika Bosch. I know she went out quite early, but the shot she was playing, I was really impressed with her. So maybe we'll get to see her again. But yeah, definitely, I think Alerias impressed me the most from Pakistan, from the batters. Yeah.
And Leisha, so the coach was saying that, they're a little concerned about the spin. Do you think that is something that we should be concerned about, playing spin?
Yeah, playing spin, I think everyone, no matter what level you're playing at, it's a struggle. Like, that's something that personally for me a struggle. And watching the ladies, how they unsure whether to come forward or go back in their shots. It's something that they really need to go back and work on, play spin more than they do pace.
And twins, what do you predict will take place in this T20 series?
Well, I'm not very familiar with the T20 players or the T20 squad, so we'll just keep an open mind on this one.
What's the feeling?
See how they do. It's a bit early to say, eh?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we've seen in the ODIs will probably be next level in the T20s, because as Emily mentioned, it's a faster format, so we're gonna need fielding needs to be tip top. We need batting needs to be tip top. So I don't know.
We'll see how this one actually plays out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to give us too much there, Lucy.
No, not too much.
Lucy, what are you expecting out of this T20 series? Different game to the ODI.
I'm hoping that we will be better. Obviously, sorry. As in, it's more of a pace game in it. So I think the girls be ready on their toes type thing in terms of fielding. And then batting, it's kind of just score as many runs as you can really in a T20. So they're more exciting, and hopefully they'll get more views as well.
I hope so as well. I'm very excited about this series because I feel like this has been the one series where people have been watching the game. They've been watching the women play. It's very exciting for me to see people tweeting about it. My mom even talking to me about the women's game and saying, it's actually not that boring. That's progress. The game has never been boring. People just haven't been watching.
Yeah. And I think, Tara, what you said is true, because my mom as well, she's recently started watching as well, and she said she just really enjoys watching the women play. So yeah, I think it's very important, in terms of cricket, the series, because women's cricket, because more and more people are watching. It's getting more coverage. So I just hope that across the world there will be more female coverage of women's games. To show that it's just as important. Female cricket is just as important as male cricket, and the coverage of it is just as important. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch this T20 series.
As am I. Now let's move on to the men quickly. The Proteas men seem to be having a relatively good day at the crease. And then after yesterday, it seemed like we were really turning things around, especially since on day 2, Fawad Alam's century that led Pakistan to 308 for 8 at stumps yesterday. They were leading by 88 runs after starting the day on 33 for the loss of 4 wickets. That was excellent. I was like, wow, watch this fight. This is what I would like to see from our batting lineup when we're down on the wickets like that. People standing there and staying at the crease. Rabada picked up his 200th test wicket. Apparently, he is the 8th South African to do so, and it's the 3rd fastest. And there was an opening stand today of 48 before Krabby Alga went. So how exciting also, to see that wickets falling and then see us fighting of course, before let's not talk about the last 30 minutes of the game because that's when we lost all our wickets. But during the day, it really looked like we were gonna make it through to the end.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a bit lost for words after that, those last few minutes of the day. But I think this test match has been so up and down in terms of like who's in front, who's behind. So I mean, after we put on 220, okay, obviously you don't know the pitch really how it performs until both teams bat. But when we're in the position, have them 33 for 4, I was like, okay, this is where we have the advantage. Obviously they come back, they get a massive, they get a massive lead, and like, okay, Pakistan, they have the advantage. But even today, like when we were about, how much were we? I think we were 170 something for 1. And I was like, okay, we have a lead and we're 1 wicket down. If we can get a lead of at least 200, 250, or if we can get to the day 1 wicket down, we have the advantage. And then what happened? We lost 1, we lost 2, we lost 3. And then it was in Pakistan's favor again. So this game is sort of in this team's favor, and in that team, it's been very much a fight, a battle. But I was disappointed with how the wickets went down in the first innings. I think a lot of reckless shots or decision making. There's unnecessary runouts. It's just I think we could have put on more runs than we did. And I think shot selection, decisions, choices that were made were just not right. So I mean, they showed now in the third innings, like, the partnership between Rassie and Aiden there showed that it's still a really good wicket to bat on. And their partnership showed that it's achievable to score runs. So yeah, I mean, I'm just a bit disappointed because right now I feel like it's advantages to Pakistan. But let's see what tomorrow holds. Let's see if we can get a lead of 200, 200 plus, and then it might be fair game again.
Yeah, you're right. Every day has changed things. Lisha, do you agree with Emily and what she's saying? Poor decisions were made rather.
Yeah, definitely the shot selection could have been better in the first innings. I mean, there's something that I tell Em. I've told Em on, I think, 2 occasions, like, but I was making reference to the Sri Lankans where they don't go out to the middle to bat time. Instead, they go to score runs. But they don't understand that when they bat time, the runs will come. There's no need for reckless shots. The bowler has 6 balls to bowl. He's not going to get all 6 balls in the proper areas. When the bad ball comes, put it away. But I didn't see a lot of that in the first innings. I saw just reckless shots going, balls flying, balls being left, and runouts unnecessary. Why? So yeah,
Hopefully you
it was a
saw
bit
an improvement
disappointing.
today.
I didn't watch much today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aiden Markram scored 74. He stayed there for a time. Rassie van der Dussen went for 64.
I told Emily this morning that I would like to see Aiden have a good score, and then Emily told me to shh and not jinx it.
If you didn't say anything, you would have scored 100 plus if you didn't say anything. So
I just can't win, can I?
Lisha's the resident jinxer, yeah.
That's so true, because like I mentioned this morning when I watched the bit, and I was like, oh my word, Aiden and Dean is going along nicely, and then Emma again said, shh. And then like few minutes later she sent me a message, jinx, 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 jinx. When Dean went out, so I was like, shucks.
Yes.
Like whenever Lisha mentions that like someone's doing well or they're looking good, then that person just goes out. So
No,
I
I
think
Lisha should stay with him.
Yeah,
Lisha, I don't think you should comment while the game is on. Please don't comment tomorrow, because tomorrow we start day 4 at, I think it's 7:30 in the morning, and we have Keshav Maharaj at the crease. He's currently sitting on 2, and Quinny on nothing. That's how it's starting tomorrow morning. So we have a
Okay, I
night
won't
watchman
say
there,
anything.
and we have Captain Quinny de Kock. So please don't say anything, because I don't know. We know that Keshav likes to bat now and then. So I'm hoping that he stays there for a while. He wasn't meant to be the person to stay there. But Faf du Plessis came in and he went out. I didn't even see him at the crease. Twins, did you see him at the crease?
Probably wasn't watching at that point, but
We
did
probably
he?
walked out and then he was like,
Was he? How long was he there for? Like
I think
12 runs or
maybe
something?
2.5 seconds he was there at the crease.
Oh, okay.
shit, I didn't
Look,
see that.
in his defense, he did look very disappointed when he went out.
Shame. Who took him though? Who was bowling?
Oh yeah, we'll go.
Who took
Ali,
his
okay.
wicket?
Oh, Yazir
It
Shah.
was Yasser Shah.
Okay, I thought so. Damn. Yo.
I think he'll be disappointed because Yasser dismissed him in the first innings. So I think, he'll be disappointed because he dismissed him again. And I think, he didn't. I'm just checking now, but he didn't score that many in the first inning. So he'd be disappointed because he really was determined to score runs.
Shit.
Yeah.
And Twin, since you are Keshav fans, what do you think? What are you expecting to see from him tomorrow morning at the crease?
Hey, maybe, you know,
Cash is cash.
Kesh is fresh.
So
Maybe he knocks another miracle or
you
something.
never know with
and,
Cash. Yeah, he's just like someday like some good, someday not so good,
You
but
know, sometime maybe.
but we
good,
have faith in
sometime
Cash. We have faith in him.
He'll
Kesh is
keep
always
he'll
good,
keep his love.
guys. He's always good.
He is.
He's a cool guy.
He's the next captain.
Oh yes.
I was just about to
I don't
say
know
now,
about that.
Yes, the captain.
So it's not Elga anymore, or what? No Elga.
I don't
It
know
was
who said
never
Alga.
Alga. It was never Alga.
Alga said Alga.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how
How
Kesh,
fate.
how fate plays out.
Look, I'm hoping that it's a good day for us and that we actually stay there, because right now it's gone from being in our favor to being in Pakistan's favor. So we start once again. We are starting the day on the back foot, like we did earlier today. I mean, we did turn things around, so it is a possibility. And I feel like everybody has this idea of what's going to happen in the game, and then it changes. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens for tomorrow and possibly the 5th day. Hopefully, Keshav and Quinny do something special.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see how the pitch plays, whether it's going to change drastically or if it's going to be similar to what it was today. I'd be interested to see if it starts deteriorating or not. Because Pakistan has to bat last. Having said that, we need to score enough runs in order to have something to defend.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see what the pitch does tomorrow. Yeah.
And Lisha, do you think that we are missing another spinner? Do you think we are missing Shamsi?
No.
Not quite what I was expecting to hear from you, but okay.
No, like just watching how the uneven bounce in the pitch, it's as of late, it's favoring more the pace. Although Yasser Shah is getting it in the right areas, but the uneven bounce is more for the pace bowlers, and I feel Shamsi, yeah, he's better off healing his back or something, whatever.
Okay. Lisha doesn't mince words here at all.
Sorry.
No. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Lucy, would you like to add anything about the pitch conditions and what we can expect tomorrow, or what you suspect may happen tomorrow? Also, if you want to support Keshav for captain.
Yeah, go Keshav for captain. But I predict that Quinny's gonna hit a T20 shot and get out stupid again.
100%. 100%.
You can't have a test captain batting like that. Oh, it just does my head in, honestly. It does my Swede in. Honestly, it just drives me up the wall. I just watch him and I'm like, this is a test match. Do you know the difference? But I don't think there's any change in him.
Wow, you guys are all ruthless today. I don't know what's happening. Usually I'm the ruthless one, but apparently today it's all of you. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I'm not going to sledge Quinny, but I think in terms of what you're asking in spin, I think Tabrei Shamsi it would have been interesting to see what he could do, just because he brings something different. Keshav and George are pretty similar, whereas Tabrei's obviously unorthodox, wrist spin. So there's something different there that he could have maybe extracted from the pitch. So it would have been interesting to see, but unfortunately, he did have that back spasm in the warm up. So maybe he'll be fine for the second test match, and we'll perhaps see him. But yeah, it would have been cool to see if he could do something different compared to George and Keshav. Yeah.
Now you see, that's the answer I thought we were going to get from Leisha. But I suppose we'll have to wait tomorrow to get all of these answers. It's been a great evening, but as usual, we are approaching that 8 o'clock mark. There's no 8 o'clock show here on Cricket Fanatics, but it is, of course, nearing the curfew time, because Lucy, that's what we have here. I know you don't have curfew in the UK, but we do have curfew here in South Africa, and things close at 8 o'clock, and we have to be inside by 9 o'clock. Also, we have no alcohol. So it's sad times here in South Africa, but do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, ladies, for joining us, and thank you for watching and sharing your opinions as well, and giving insight and watching the game, supporting women's cricket, and flying the flag. And also catch all of the action tomorrow morning, 7:30. Day 4, Keshav Maharaj at the crease along with Quinton de Kock. Hopefully they'll still be there at lunchtime. Their lunch, not ours. And the women will be in action at 3:30 in the afternoon for the first T20 of 3 against Pakistan here on home soil. Don't miss it. And you don't have to miss it. You don't have to switch between the men and the women, because the men will be finished playing by the time the women start. So do enjoy a weekend of cricket. Enjoy your evening. Stay safe. Stay COVID-free. Wear that mask. And just have a great time. Good evening.